This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience. Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today we're going to talk Chanel. And this is an interesting topic because I've been asked a lot throughout the years about this bag, about its wear and tear. People asking me, hey Dacob, and I don't know why people remember this bag in particular more than almost any other bag I have. Because I have colorful bags, different shape bags, special bags. But this is the timeless classic. This is how I store it, by the way. I made videos on how I store it and stuff. You can check that out. But this is the timeless classic small double flap, black caviar leather with gold hardware. And it's about the wear and tear. People have been asking me, Dacob, how does it, wear? How does it tear after so many years? So I got this around, I think it was 2015. So we're talking about the wear and tear of the Chanel Timeless Classic Double Flap, you guys. Black caviar leather, gold hardware. Before we get to the wear and tear and review of this bag, if you are new to my channel or are watching my videos all the time but haven't yet, well, now is your time and your chance to consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. You can also push the join button next to the subscription button and become a member today. You get extra perks by becoming a member. You can also join me on Patreon, Super Dacob all spelled together, where you get to see videos before they come to YouTube, but you also get to see exclusive videos that never make it to YouTube. Thank you to my members and patrons. I would also like to thank my live co-chatters and reviewers, because this video is being filmed live. Thank you so much. In the chat section, you are all going to co-review the bag and talk about it with me. So after I'm done with the wear and tear and review, I'm going to go to your comments as well. So this is an interesting little story behind this bag. First, the first version of this one that I got back in 2015 was right before that ginormous 20%, the first ginormous historical price increase of Chanel, which was in 2015, the first one when they went up 20%. And I was so thrilled. I originally wanted the jumbo, which they gave me the jumbo. They did have a jumbo just 2 days before the price increase. So that was already in itself very rare because by then everything was sold out. They did have a jumbo, but it was made in Italy, not in France. This one is made in France. I like my Chanel classics to be made in France. It was made in Italy. It wasn't the perfect quality. And it was too big, chunky, heavy. It was like a tank of a bag. And I was like, no, this isn't good. And most importantly, for me, not good. Most importantly, the chain was way too long for me. Way too long. I literally felt like wearing it single strap, like just single strap chain. It felt so low. It would bounce off my hip. It was so uncomfortable to wear. The chain is definitely too long. Then I tried the medium. It was okay, but the proportions were slightly off. It was a little bit too long for my taste as opposed to how the flap fell on it, because the four main classic Chanel double flaps, the small, the medium, the jumbo, and the maxi, they all have different proportions. They're not just this bag enhanced and bigger. No, actually a lot of it changes. The more the size varies, the more the flap goes down or up. It's like the maxi is the most ugly of all of them, because the flap of the maxi, the top flap is like goes so low. It's like the whole front of the bag becomes just a flap. And very, very close to the bottom it closes. And you got a little bit of the bottom panel here showing up, but the rest is like all flap. So that one, and the chain is just dreadfully long, super heavy. So that was no. Jumbo, again, also no for me. Medium, a bit too elongated in proportions. And this one is just right for me. I was thrilled when I had it because back then, it was not so popular. This was before the advent of small mini bags. People were all buying the maxis, the jumbos, the grand shopping totes. Everything was big in 2015. So now Chanel is making micro bags. They're getting smaller and smaller by the season. At a certain point, you're going to be thinking like, where's the bag? You need an magnifying glass just to recognize. You're going to need microscopes to see the bags. And they're going to cost you $1.25. No, I don't think so. A leg and an arm. So yeah, we digress. The proportions are the best here. This is also the closest to Coco Chanel's own 255 bag. Now we know that this is not the 255 bag, it's not the 255 lock, but the shape in its inception quality is the closest to Coco Chanel's own bag, also in the size. Coco Chanel was a tiny woman. Zesty one, but a small one, tiny one, and she liked to carry her bag very close to her, so she wouldn't do the shoulder straps and stuff like this. So she would wear a double like this, put it here, and that's how she would go around. Now, her chain was even a little bit shorter than this one. She customized hers because they made it for her. If Coco calls the factory and says, ladies, make my chain that long, they make it that long, you best believe. So, but what I want to say is, this is closest to her. This is one of the reasons why I love it so much. Another reason why I love it so much is because it suits me perfectly, and also because the chain is the shortest. Of the four, small, medium, jumbo, maxi, this one has the shortest chain, but it's the best chain. Because if we, hold on, let me just pull it. Just get the chain properly extracted here. Okay. Now, you guys. So when we pull the bag like this and we have the length here, a little tape here, measuring tape. So the fall here is barely, not even, like 43.5 centimeters. It's really short. So even if you're going to put it only on your shoulder, look how perfectly it doesn't touch the hip. It's right above it. Well, I can't now. It's going to be too far from the camera, but hold on. Let me try. Falls right there. Now, of course, I don't wear it like this. What I do is either a necklace. Been doing this for years, since I bought it actually. Or, even more interesting, with this length of chain, you do crossbody, and it falls so nicely, snugly right here underneath the chest area. Like that. It's just perfect. For my needs, this chain, the length of it, just perfection. It just falls in the right place and you get to hold it the right way. It's perfect. Now, 2015. So that means this bag, I can't believe it. I cannot believe how quickly time goes. This bag, so this year it's turning 6 years old. 6 years old, you guys, and looking good, I have to say. Of course, I take extreme care of my Chanel bags. Are you kidding me? They're my babies. And of course, I baby them, I treasure them, I take really, really good care of them. They're the loves of my life. I mean, I know to some people they're just objects, and some, tacky people might even like treat them as trash. No, to me, they're wonderful works of art. And so I love to use them, but a part of my pleasure of using them is also taking care of them. So, and this is where I'm getting to the point now with wear and tear. Why is this bag in such good condition as opposed to maybe people who buy the maxis, or if they buy the jumbos? Well, because the chain is shorter. And you're going to be like, what does the chain have to do with the wear and tear of the angles of the bag, the this and the that? Well, here's a little tip for you. The shorter the chain of your bag, the easier it is to take care of your bag long term. What does this mean? This means that when your chain is very long and the bag hits the hip and hangs too low, the lower it hangs, no pun intended, and the easier it is to bump into things when you're walking around, because this length is so long, the bag swings more away from your body, it moves more away from your body, and also because in the hip area, you're more prone to bumping into things. Hence, it makes it much easier to scratch the bag, dent the bag, bump into stuff with the bag. When the chain is as short as this chain is, either, as I showed you before, when you're wearing it here, in this area, it's always protected. Nothing is going to come near you. You're not going to bump into it and scratch it. When I wore it as a single strap off the shoulder, it hit me above the hip, not on it. So that means that it's in that part of the body where the body goes inwards. So the bag kind of attaches itself to the body. If you have a waistline. If you don't worry about it. You can put it a little bit higher above the waistline. And then you got your second waistline. But so it kind of blends in with your body. And that way it's also more protected from bumping into things. Of course, if you wear it as a necklace like I did, that is a little bit dangerous because it does hang relatively low, so it can swing easily to the sides. So you got to be careful there. But it is frontal and it is right in front of you. It's not to the side of you. And because it is a size small, not medium, not jumbo, not maxi, it has this width. So it really kind of just, your body on both sides frames the bag. So the bag doesn't stick out from your body if you're wearing it as a necklace. It doesn't kind of like stick up to here, so it's easy to kind of bump into stuff when you're wearing it. So the size is very important, and the length of the chain. And these are two factors that contributed into this bag really maintaining its shape and not getting scratches, not getting any visible use in terms of wear and tear after 6 years. Quality is superb. You got to hand it to Chanel. Yes, their quality isn't as it used to be in the past, but for 2015, this is amazing, impeccable. What is so beautiful about it, even after 6 years, every time I take it out of its microfiber little pouch, it smells just like the first day. That intense, beautiful smell of Chanel leather, of black Chanel leather in particular. Oh, nothing like it. Now, what I do, however, hold on, I got the authenticity card in there. We got to put it to the side, so we got to protect the number. What I always do, Desiccants. Now, whoever follows my channel knows I'm always very big into these Desiccants. Whether it's leather, costume jewelry, plastic, pleather, silk, tweed, velvet, you name it, Dacob puts a desiccant in it because that is very, very important to protect these bags. The biggest enemy of these bags, sure, it's the dents and what can happen, but the biggest enemy is humidity. You don't want humidity close to leather, especially leather that is kind of layered on top of each other, because it's always, it's the flap, and the flap is made out of leather, the inner flap is made out of leather, the bag is made out of leather. So if you're storing it for a long period of time in a humid environment and all of these layers of leather are layered on top of each other, touching each other, they might stick with time, because this is treated leather. It does have a coating on it. Of course, it has a chemical treatment. No cowhide is this color to begin with. It's artificially dyed. And also the caviar leather, in my case, it survived very well the 6 years. Look at the beauty of it. I think perhaps we can zoom in. I'm going to step back. Let me try now. Okay, you guys. Look, so you see how much I care for this 6 years in. Look at the beautiful edges here. No wear and tear there. At the bottom, I never place my bag on the floor or on the table or whatever. This bag always stays with me on my lap. I baby it like a baby, okay? If I'm wearing a crossbody, it just hangs on my chest. So if I sit down, it sits down with me. If I am carrying it, like this, then I'm going to place this on my lap when I'm sitting. And I'm always very careful to wear clothes that don't have any metal attachments to them. Very soft clothes. And then this is the back. This corner here, bottom, this corner. We got the side. And then we got the other side. These bags are always so funny when you look at them on the side because these proportions are so wonky. Like you got this thing like clipped in, and then you got one flap, the second flap, the little lock over there. Of course, this bag is now empty, so it's not full. So it you know, it's not in its full shape because of course this could be even more filled, more stuff. But I never fill this bag too much. I mean, it's a small bag. I always like to give it its space to breathe in here and in between there as well. The double flap, I have to admit, is a difficult thing. It does make the use of this bag quite complicated because in caviar leather, it's a very stiff material. You know, it's a stiff material. So let me take a little felt protection here. It's very, very stiff. You see, you let it go, it always kind of collapses back. So to open both of them, and then you got to take care of this little leather bit. So you got to always push that in, then open the flap, then you hold with this hand the two together, then you kind of stretch it open. The double flap, I mean, it's a lovely, poetic, Chanelian or Chanel-esque thing, but it's a pain in the butt, especially in very stiff materials. It works wonders as Coco intended it. How did she intend it? Jersey. She intended both flaps to be out of a very malleable, soft wool jersey. So when you open them, they just flow with you. But when you're doing double thick leathers like this, like one, it's already hard to open this one. Then you got to open the second one, which is kind of shorter than the first one. So this is the biggest issue I have with this. And of course, this zipper pocket. You don't need that zipper pocket, Chanel. Especially the way that they kind of, this little metal little bit here that kind of with time dents in the leather there. Like I always have to wear this, I always have to put this here to just to protect the bag from itself, really. Because the zipper can dent the leather. Now, it's not a big of an issue. Actually, it is. I stand corrected. I was going to say it's not that big of an issue with caviar leather as opposed to lambskin leather. Not true, you guys. Lambskin leather is more flexible with time, softer. So what does this mean? That lambskin is not going to tear as easily as caviar. Because caviar is a bit more robust and can dry out if you're not careful. So what does this mean? That this little zipper, if it keeps pressing into here, it could create an actual hole. While usually, not always, but what usually is the case with the lambskin, it presses it in like there's no tomorrow, but lambskin doesn't tear. You see, it dents it in, but it's like butter. It adapts itself to the pressure point of the zip pull. So you got to be careful with caviar. Caviar is a very delicate leather, and I know people keep saying caviar is more robust than lambskin, but go check out my comparison. I did a comparison video, like what is better, lambskin or caviar leather. I could post the comment, the video in the description, in the card section up here, but also I'll post the link in the description box underneath this video. You're going to notice I've come to some interesting conclusions in that video, but I can tell you, after having this bag for 6 years, there's something youthful about it, for sure. There's something, this caviar does make it fresh and young in many ways. But if you were really to have just one Chanel bag and use it every day and abuse it every day, if you're really going to, I don't use this one every day, obviously I take a lot of care of it. But if you were to use it every day, it would end up being looking much better in its used state if it were lambskin than caviar. If you baby both of them, if you baby, all your bags, then don't worry. If you're going to buy lambskin or caviar, they're going to last you a lifetime if you baby them like I baby my bags. The only thing you got to be very, very, very careful of, the colors you choose. Because choosing lighter colors, no matter how much care you and how much attention you invest in your bag, and let's say you protect it, you don't wear it every day because you bought a beige or a white color or a very light red or a rose, what can happen is, even if you wear it just once a year and then you make that mistake to wear it with darker clothes, You're going to rub off the color of the clothes onto your bag. And if you get color transfer on your bag, it's virtually impossible to get it out. I mean, there are ways, but in particular, if you have a, sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. If you have a patent leather in a light color, once you get color transfer on that, and it is so easy to get color transfer onto those, you can't get that off. So even though the leather itself is A-okay, you're still going to have a lot of issues with the color. So if you're a person that takes care of your bags like I do, it doesn't matter if you get black lambskin or black caviar. Doesn't matter. Just be sure, because Chanel has updated their caviar leather, so still within their classic releases, they use a better leather than they would for their minis, because the minis are mass released and mass produced. So you're going to notice a difference in the caviar. The caviar that they use nowadays is very plasticky, very tiny. The pebbles are much more beady and pointy. This is the old school Chanel caviar. This is the caviar that they're known for, that they used to use. It's a wider grain caviar. Like every single pebble of caviar is thicker and asymmetric, and they all have a different shape. The newer caviar is much tinier little pebbles. They almost look like goosebumps more than caviar pebbles on modern day Chanel bags. And there's like a sort of a plasticky coating over them. They're almost sticky to the touch. I really do not like that new caviar. The old caviar, however, oh my God, it's genius. And it does look very fresh and youthful. But I have to admit, I know my weird masochistic nature also makes me enjoy the fact that I need to baby it more, that I need to care for it more, that it's more fragile. I'm aware that caviar is fragile, so I treat it also with more respect. Like I'm happy that I have this, it's a sick thing way of thinking, but this is the way I think. Like I think, okay, well, I have a good justification. Like if somebody out and about of my friends tells me like, Dacob, why are you babying the bag that way? It's like so much. And I say, yeah, but no, because caviar, it's so delicate, so I have to. So, but I'm happy to have to baby it. I would baby it no matter what, even if it were made out of metal. I would still find reasons to have to baby it. Like, because metal is easily scratchable, so I gotta be very careful with it. Part of the game, part of the pleasure of enjoying this game is also babying it. To me, at least, it is. Taking care of it, Yeah, call me crazy, but if you're into Chanel bags like I am, like you understand me. You know what I'm saying. And then we get to the burgundy interior. Okay, so now when we get to the burgundy interior, my baby made in France. Oh, yes, she did. I got the tissue paper in there always with the Desiccants. This is also leather. It's a different type of leather. It's a thinner, it's a very delicate leather. And now I think they're doing it, so on their minis now, this interior leather is thinner still than it is or used to be on their timeless classics. Like this leather is incredibly durable. But I have seen modern versions of the interior leather, particularly on minis, and it's very thin, and you feel like if you pull it too much, it could rip or creases are created. This one, it's delicate, but not as delicate as the newer ones are. So you can see here the creasing, for example, it gets its like wrinkles with time. No, you can't even really see it. Like if I pull it open, you can see this burgundy leather on this side. Where I'm pressing here the finger, you can see kind of how it, maybe it's worth it to zoom in, there, you can see the texture of the leather here. You see the kind of, yeah, of course, I mean, if you're going to press the bag like this, which you would never do, of course you're going to get the creasing, but it has a texture to it. What I want to say is it's a very supple and interesting leather. Also here on the surface. Very, very fascinating. And, now that I'm looking at it in close up, I have to tell you, another big reason for me to prefer the small to all the other sizes of the Timeless Classic double flap is because the small, as opposed to the others, has a padded double C. You guys, yes, for the small only for the small they do this. It's like elevated, it's padded, it's soft. When you press the C, it's three-dimensional. It's like, yeah, there's a padding in there. It's all soft and thick. You can see how the shadow falls on it. You can see that it's elevated. They don't do that with the other sizes. The jumbo, the double C, the stitched double C on the jumbo is flat as can be. They did not even go through the effort to fill it, to create the stuffing, the filling for the double C. Because you got to align this. You can't just like by accident make it fluffy. You got to create that fluff, put it in the right position before you sew it all together. It's extra work. It's extra work that makes the small, well, I don't call this, I mean, yeah, I call it the small, but this is not the small. This is the Classic 255. Sorry, this is the Classic Timeless Classic. Oh my God. And it's, in fact, it's the Timeless Classic double flap bag. All the others have different names, medium, large, maxi, jumbo, blah, blah, but this is the one. I do not call this the small. I mean, you got to define it as small because you got those 4 official ones in existence. But all of these details make it so special because it's the closest to Coco's own size. Because this double C inside is extra padded. No other size has it. Because the proportions, how the flap ends here, and then you still got this much space left with the bottom panel. Only the small has these proportions. The medium, jumbo, maxi don't. The length of the chain, the width of the bag, how easy it is to protect and bait. It's just a candy of a bag. Every time somebody would ask me, Dacob, I'm thinking about buying a new Chanel bag. What should it be? Of course, I'm always going to say the 255. But if you're a lover of the double C lock, of the Timeless Classic, I always recommend, and even back then in 2015 when these were not popular back then, I was recommending them all the time over the jumbo. And people were like, you're crazy. The jumbo is just like, I don't know, $300 more. So if you're already spending so much money, why not spend those $300 more to get a bigger bag? I'm like, that is the most vulgar way to think about it. So you're just trying to squeeze out the most for your buck. That's ridiculous. If you're already in that price range, price category, be elegant. Choose the bag that is most suited to you. Don't think about those 300 extra bucks, because if you're already in that crazy price class, all the luxury brands do that. Even if you go to Louis Vuitton and you're already ready to spend so much money on a Keepall, you know, between the 45, 50, 55, and 60 size, there's a minimum difference in money you have to pay. It's the initial price tag that's really high. And then a lot of people go for the bigger bags because they think I get more for the money. But that's the wrong way of thinking. You get the most out of the small, in my opinion, because it's going to last you the longest. If you need a bag to stuff with stuff, then take a shopper with you. Take this bag as the extra beautiful chic thing that you have on you, and then carry an extra shopper. I usually leave the house with 2 bags, I have to say. Small bags around my neck as accessories. I can put my wallet in it, or my keys, or tissues, or perfume, and that's it. And then I got my bigger bag where I stuff it with shopping and stuff. I need to do paperwork for job or whatever. But I usually do carry 2 bags, and the Chanel is usually the smaller one, and then the bigger one is either a Vivienne Westwood or some other shopper that I have. The only big Chanel bag I have is the Grand Shopping Tote Extra Large. Love it to bits. Also made in this old school caviar leather. To die for. That one, yeah, I fill it. I carry it. That one is a tank. It can, that one takes no prisoners. It's a big one. It's gorgeous. The extra large. Love it to bits. And to think that when I was out there to buy it, I went to buy the Grand Shopping Tote, and my sales associate said, Dacob, you should try the extra large. I was like, really? She's like, well, not only does it suit your figure more, but the extra large also has 4 little legs at the bottom, little gold legs. The regular Grand Shopping Tote doesn't have those. So I was like, oh, there's a lot of these extra details. Okay. Tried it, loved it, got it, have never regretted it since. And they've discontinued that bag, unfortunately. Another beautiful Chanel bag that got discontinued. So, in conclusion, whether or not I would repurchase it again, I think now the price range it's at. So right now it costs, oh my God, what does it cost? Almost double what I paid it in 2015. So 6 years in, and Chanel has doubled its price. Doubled in 6 years. Doubled. I'm still shocked. Every time I repeat it, I'm shocked. But if had they not doubled their price, I would have gotten it again. Truth be told, I got this before the price increase, and after the price increase, these bags went up. But the price of the small was too close to the price of the medium, and for the first time ever in Chanel history, they reduced a price of a Chanel bag. So this one jumped up to like 4K, and then they brought it back down to 3.9, just because to differentiate it more in the price range to the medium. So I wanted to get it again when it was in the 3.9 range. Couldn't find it anymore because it still wasn't popular, and they never had it. They never ordered it. They never had it. Not many. Every time they would tell me, Dacob, not enough people are requesting it, so we never, the buyer never buys them for the boutique. So I wanted also a lambskin on top of the Caviar. But by the time they became popular and available, the prices went so up, I was like, no, not for that price. I don't want it. I did originally purchase this one in lambskin. I had to bring it back because there were 2 flaws on it. So in fact, on my channel, I think you can still see the unboxing of the lambskin version. And then I brought it back, and they just received then this one, and I just swapped it for this one. And I'm super happy to this day. Yes, I would go for lambskin on top of this if I could, but not for your prices, Chanel, not anymore. 6 years in, and it still feels like the first day I got her, or him, or it, or them, there. I don't know. The bags also have now, you got to be careful which gender you put on them because they might get offended too. We are in 2021 after all. Everybody's offended about everything. Political correctness, darling. 6 years in, and this bag is still amazing. So here's to another 100 years with this little beauty. I love it so much. And yes, I would recommend it to you any day, every day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me get to the chats. Lighty says, we love a microscopic bag. Paul Parker says, is there another flap inside it? Yes, it's a double flap. Disco nap for Jack. Audrey says, beautiful model. Mine is Caviar with silver hardware from 2005. Mine still looks brand new. From 2005. Oh my God. Wow, that's amazing, Audrey. Delicious. My mouth waters when I hear, especially the older they are. I love it, love it, love it. Brendan says, I would say totes were the biggest bag trend of the 2010s. Aisha says, I hate it when a bag bumps on your hips. Oh yeah, me too. Terrible. It's the worst thing. And especially if that bag is like out of jersey or denim or something. Oh, thank you, Ella, now for subscribing. Thank you. Especially if the bag is like some delicate material, because it keeps bumping and rubbing on your hips and it's going to break. Hold on, let me put it down. MK says, Dacob, I believe your bag will remain that mint for a long time. My mom's 3 classic flaps are from the early 90s, and they are as pristine as yours. That's amazing, MK. Audrey says, I also feel when looking on the pre-loved market, maxi jumbos have not aged as well. They always look out of shape, and the corners scuffed. They're scuffed because they're too big, and also because the people wearing them usually treated them like crazy and overstuffed them, and then they lose their shape. Yeah, very true, Audrey. I'm always looking on their on the scuffed stuff. Yeah, no, the bigger ones are usually scuffed. I'm telling you guys. Dacob knows his Chanel. Ellie says, hey, Dacob, beautiful bag. Thank you, Ellie. It's the perfect size, says Brendan. Thank you. Yes, for me, you guys, it's the small. Always go with the small. Audrey says, Aisha, have you found one you like? I can't get over how the pre-loved market has rocketed in the last year or two. Brendan says, looks very 40s. MK says to Audrey, because they fall on the hips. And since they are bigger and heavier, they tend to swing from front and back all the time, which will eventually damage them. Yeah, it will. It will. Brandon says, it's bad luck to put your bag on the ground. It is. Amina says, such craftsmanship and your carefulness keeps her pretty. Thank you, Amina. Olfactive Story says to Brandon, my grandma used to say Uh, to say that with putting luggage on a bed, that it brings bad luck. MK says to Audrey, my seasonals are about maxi size and I have to be extra careful not to damage them. I don't wear classic flaps though, that are not working for me because too stiff and rigid to my liking. Audrey says, my reissue is bigger and that is aging beautifully. That model from 2009. I think it's also how you wear and store them that contribute to the longevity. I baby that one too. Oh yeah, 255 though. Of course, as I say, all 255 first and foremost, and after that all the other bags. But the 255, the love of my life, the love of my life. A fact of story says it doesn't look handy. The bag. I mean, it's a bit stiff. Could be more handy for sure, but it's a little sculpture. So I'm looking at it now. Anyway, but that's why I carry a second bag that's more. I know this is crazy, but I just love my Chanel. So then a more handy bag, yeah, I can carry a more handy bag with it. But this little baby also has to come with me because it's my baby. I can't leave it alone. So yeah. Speaking of luggage, I've been shopping for luggage for my trip. Thanks for reminding me. Brandon says, is a little pocket for pennies? This one? No, this is more for like cards and tickets. Same applies for the inside. None of these pockets are made for metal coins. You need a wallet for coins actually. You should not place your metal coins like naked in the bag, in any place of this bag. No. Oh, and the little pocket on the top underneath no, that one with the zipper pull, no, that one is not for pennies either. It's actually for nothing, especially on the small one. It's just a symbolic pocket they have there to tell a story about Chanel's love letters, but she didn't keep her love letters in her bag like that. Anyway. You get used to it. The flap and hard material. Yeah, Ellie, but it also gets softer. The more you open it and use it, it softens up, It just takes some time. I don't want to soften it up too much. Brendan says, I make a good lamb stew. I love lamb. Factor Story says, still, if someone offers it to me, I wouldn't say no to the bag. Yeah, right? Neither would I. There are lots I like. Not found the one that's made me push the button, though. On the secondhand market, MK says, Taji, my reissue was from 2005, and it was very delicate, especially on the corners. Really had to take extra care of it. I'm so rough with bags. I can't have expensive ones, says Rara. No, I take care. I baby them like crazy. Like crazy. I baby them too much. Dacob, your outfit is so inspiring. Makes me want to paint and or make a frock. Thank you, Brandon, darling. Yeah, this is all Vivian. She made all of this, you guys. This is all Vivian's playing cards. I just cracked a shoulder. Vivian's playing cards. My hair. The more I film, and I have to comb my hair because it just gets into knots. It's getting so, my hair is so long. After all of these months, the hair is growing. I use my reissue a lot more, says Audrey. It's bigger and more suitable. I can wear it to the supermarket. It's comfortable. And it's softer. It's a much softer and friendlier bag to use than all the other Chanel bags because the leather, the way it's made, it's so supple and soft. Demi, Minwi, Chanel, heart. Hello to the chat, Demi, sweetie. Brandon says, Lux. Aisha says, Audrey, your collection sounds so lovely. MK says, lied to me. That's funny. I rarely wear my Chanel strap bags nowadays. It just attracts too much attention. Whenever I carry a Chanel leather good now, it is always a clutch. Lied to me 101 says Tarara, hopefully it helps if a luxury bag is your dream. I personally cannot afford to have bags. I'm too afraid to use them. So the material has to fit my lifestyle. The bag works for you. Oh, the burgundy interior makes my heart skip a beat. I know that burgundy, you guys. I also love the vintage Chanel ads of Vogue's archive. Oh, they're beautiful, the vintage Chanel ads. That burgundy definitely hit the spot, says Brendan. Oh, the padding. We love an extra touch, says Aisha. Yeah. Yes, that padding. Not many people know about that. It's like rouge noir. It is, Aisha. It is rouge noir. Brandon says, so chic. It's a vibe. MK says, oh my God, Dacob, I feel the same every single time you show off your Chanel bags, I have the chocolate cake effect again. Oh, I'm so happy, guys, because that's how I feel when I see Chanel bags. My heart flutters. This and your single flap, I love, says Aisha. Brendan says, I love the bag with your outfit. Oh, thank you so much. It kind of does work, doesn't it? I was looking at the camera while I was like posing for you guys, and I was like, huh, yeah, didn't combine it like this before, but it really worked, doesn't it? I'm wearing dungarees. They're like so oversized. They're hanging all over the place. Looks like I'm double the size. MK, what's the chocolate cake effect? You know when your mouth waters? That's the chocolate cake effect. I know nothing of luxury bags, says Rada. I watch Dacob to learn. Full disclosure, I'd rather not carry a bag, but one can't go about frumpy with everything stuck into pockets, lol. No, you can't do it all with pockets, but you don't need like a little incy schmincy tiny little teensy bag like this. You could also go for like shoppers. Tote bags. I love tote bags. I don't have one here right now because I didn't prepare it, but almost every day I leave the house with a tote bag or an oversized. Right now, I always carry my Vivienne Westwood, a large Yasmin bag. It's to die for. Very affordable, water resistant, vegan for those of y'all who care about that stuff. And, but it's water repellent. That's a cool thing. It's big like, oh, I love it to bits. That one I use every day. Even if I have a Chanel extra, I still use my Vivienne. I crave choco cake whenever I watch Dacob's bag videos, lol, says Brendan. Aisha says, I can't. I want chocolate cake. Now, should I blame the bag or you guys? I think you're going to be blaming us guys. Well, you'll see in a minute. Anyway, blame the bag, says Brendan. Oh my God. Audrey says, I couldn't agree more. Nothing worse than a Chanel bag. Absolutely crammed with a kitchen sink. Take a tote and your handbag. Yeah, exactly. Don't overstuff your Chanel bag. Very vulgar. MK says to Aisha, it is the way he explains his bag's details with his beautiful fingers plus the perfect bag quilting. It just feels like a chocolate dessert masterclass. Oh, MK, thank you so much. Debbie says, stop the cake chat or I'll be forced to bake one. LOL. Debbie, bake us a cake. Debbie, bake a cake. Debbie. Brendan says, it's an edible Chanel bag. I would love little Chanel cakes. I wouldn't eat them though. If Chanel made them themselves, you best believe I would have a house full of old Chanel cakes because I just wouldn't be able to eat them. I would just collect them. Dacob loves fashion, but it also a realist. 2 bags for sure. Candy fluff, I'm telling you. You gotta be realistic about this. And I mean, it ain't on guts to be, one bag can be a cutesy little bag and a little thin, instead of jewelry. Because as I said, this bag to me is also as a necklace. It's my jewelry. And then I got my bag, my tote bag with me. Chanel pricing their purses like real estate in my city. Double in 5 years. Double. This one almost double. By now it's in 6 years, double. Double. A kind of sad, oh, hold on. Let me just go, guys, let me scroll back up. Oh, here I am. Yeah, MK says, my apartment got robbed last year and last summer I almost got slaughtered in the subway because of my Kelly bag. I just don't want to attract too much negative attention. Oh my God, I did. Well, MK, I knew about the one incident, but twice and then in the subway 3rd time? Oh my God. You got to be careful. Holy moly. Last year and last summer? But last summer. But that was during lockdown. So you were at home when they broke in. Oh my God. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. Lucas says, kind of sad I discovered Chanel just when they decide to take their bags pretty much inaccessible. They're crazy with their prices. You made a great choice, Dacob, says Aisha. Thank you so much, Aisha. Thank you. So perfect. So perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, MK says, yeah, welcome to Paris. Light to me says, Dacob, I always wanted to know what you think of the Chanel Diana bag. If I was ever to get a Chanel, it might be a vintage Diana. There's just something I love about it. I love the Diana bag. Love it. The flap is a little bit too rounded outwards. You know what I love about the flap of the classic, of the Timeless Classic, is that it's inwards. You see, it's cut like that, like a, I call it a rainbow. Yes, you know, they call this the Mona Lisa smile. I hate that name for this back pocket. They call it the Mona Lisa smile. That's ridiculous. As if Mona Lisa had a fat smile like that. No, she did not like that. You know, look at this. Like, what? Did Mona Lisa open her mouth that much? No. But this, to me, is the most poetic, because this, to me, is like the rainbow arch. I call this the rainbow arch. So there, now you have it. That's my personal little intimate thing. Now you know. I call that the rainbow. So the Diana bag has it doesn't go like a rainbow like this. Oh, the flap goes like that. What year issue is your bag? 2015. Brandon says, Dacob likes it stiff. Yes, he does. I break in my bags. I wear them in, says Ellie. Lie to me, Dacob, I always wanted to know. Oh, now I read that one. Yes, the material has to definitely suit your lifestyle for the bags. Definitely. Chanel was all about pockets. I saw a woman carrying it the other day. It hasn't aged very well. It looks vintage, but not in a good way. Oh, the Diana bag. So MK saw a Diana bag that didn't age very well. It all depends how you use it, you know. Dontism says, I had to slice a chocolate cake after hearing cake for more than 5 times. Debbie says, oh my God, I shall bake one then. You are on my TV so I can watch. Is red velvet okay? Ooh, red velvet is perfect, darling. Perfect. Never had red velvet cake, says Amelia. Dacob, I had a Chanel cake at Beige restaurant in Tokyo. As a Chanel geek, you should definitely go. Yes. Oh my God. I wouldn't have the heart to eat it though. Brendan says, I want to feel sexy, so I just sprayed myself with Cancan by Paris Hilton. LOL. Debbie says, it's basically chocolate, just red colored. Amelia's like, oh, I see. I prefer the movie Blue Velvet, says Brendan. Oh, David Lynch in the house. Rara says, I do love a tote. Me too. There is a Vivienne Westwood Orb bag on the site right now for $370, more my price range than Chanel, sadly. It's a wonderful price range. I love Vivienne Westwood bags. I might even make a video on my Vivienne Westwood bag collection. They're incredible. They're incredible. I love them to bits. To bits. And I wear Vivienne Westwood bags more than I wear Chanel bags, actually, because they're more user-friendly. So yeah, I feel like the Diana fits my personal style better than a 255 or the classic bag. Well, that's something to talk about maybe in future videos. The Diana bag, that's a topic I haven't touched base on. But thank you guys so much for the chat. Thank you so much for contributing and co-reviewing this beautiful bag, and also the wear and tear of this bag, and also bringing awareness to how lambskin ages as opposed to caviar, or how the 255 loses its shape or maintains its shape. It's super important always to hear these things and to exchange ideas and thoughts with you guys, because I do have in my wonderful Code Chatters group also a lot of collectors as well. So everybody has their own personal experience, and every time you hear a new experience and a new extra added experience, you learn more about the whole topic that you're passionate about. That's why having a community like this is also important at the end of the day, because you get to exchange and learn more from each other, and you get more clever. Scrolling on the side are all my thank yous, all my wonderful members and patrons of the Fashion Bunker. You can become a member and a patron too. If you haven't already but like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Push the subscription button. Next to the subscription button is the join button. You can push that and become a member of my channel today and get extra perks that come along with it. You could also join me on Patreon, Super Dacob all spelled together, and get extra perks there as well. And follow me on all other social media. Super Dacob all spelled together on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also follow my Chanel dedicated special Instagram profiles. One is called Coco Chanel is in my house, all spelled together, dedicated to my private Chanel collection, but also everything going on new with the Chanel brand these days. You can also follow me on my Coco Chanel Privé, all spelled together, Instagram profile curated in a way to represent everything that happened during Coco Chanel's own life, leading up to 1971 when she sadly passed away. That's something to, it's interesting because the way I curate that profile is, it's a fan profile. It's not in any way associated with Chanel. It's just a person, a fan of Coco, dedicating a profile to Coco. But to me, when I look through those photos, it almost feels like I'm back in the time when she was alive, and it makes me feel happy. I don't know. I have the feeling like I can maintain her memory, and it's as if she were still alive, and that's kind of the beauty of that, I guess, the magic for me of that. So check it out if you ever get a chance. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do thumb it up and subscribe so someone subscribe. And until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.